Hello, everybody. Welcome to my One Fear Per Year podcast, where we encourage one another to walk through our fears because life, I have discovered, is so much better, so much sweeter right on the other side of those fears that want to hold us back and keep us playing small in life. And today I have an amazing guest on with me. Louis, thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, no, thank you. And one fear a year isn't good enough. Let's do two.
You are not the first person to have this idea. Actually, I talked to someone recently who said, "What is this one fear per year nonsense? Like, I do one uncomfortable, scary thing every day," which I was like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But I'm alluding to the fact that I wasn't in gallery view the first time we tried. So we're on a we're making a career of fear.
That's right. Yes, we have revisited our interview, and the first one was great, but I'm sure this one will be even better because we live and learn every single day of life. So I'm sure now is you've come with new nuggets of wisdom and information for our listeners and viewers. So to start off, I want to know, like in the last 5 years of your
Yeah.
life,
I've learned nothing.
you've learned nothing, absolutely nothing.
No, that I've learned nothing since the beginning.
Well, this you have to give us something, Louis. You're on this show because I know how amazing you are and how you show up in this world. So when fear threatens to keep you playing small in your life,
Yes,
what do you do? How do you deal with the fears that come up in your own life?
run from it. No, wait. Uh, no, that's okay.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. No, that's the common. That's we know that we shouldn't run from fear, don't we? And yet,
Yes.
what do? We
Well,
run.
knowing is one thing, as you said, doing is another.
No, this is true. Now you'll see the guys behind me. Those are the U.S. Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. Okay, they jump out of airplanes for a living. They don't just jump, do they? They train. They prepare. They've got 6 ways to Sunday that they're prepared. And so we all know. I mean, you don't have to jump out of an airplane to be courageous, okay? You don't have to be the guy who sawed off his own arm uh, to be courageous. Oh, but I did reach out to him on LinkedIn because I want to go into the ring with him, right? 2 against 1. Um,
'Cause you have a fighting chance, is that what you're thinking?
I'm no, he's younger than me, so you know, he he gets to tie his one good arm behind his back just to make it fair. Um, Look, we don't have to do crazy things to be courageous. It's little things, right? Let's face our fears, but it doesn't. You don't have to start with the giant ones. Like, what if? How about admitting a mistake? Things like that.
I love that. I love that because for me, it is baby steps, and that's why when people say, what's this one fear per year? Like, we gotta go more." It's like, yes, you can do more, but the problem with more is sometimes we get overwhelmed and then we don't do any of it. So I would rather focus on one thing every year and make sure to do that one thing than overwhelm myself with too much and then not do anything.
Now, when you say one fear per year, I think you're thinking like one big fear. Am I
I
right?
I am. Usually mine tend to be something bigger that really triggers those deep down, sometimes even the subconscious fears in life. So, some of my stuff was very physical, like a marathon or a bodybuilding competition, but there was some stuff that was the fear of sitting in stillness. like
Mhm.
those kind of things. The fear of allowing myself to feel the emotional pain in my life. But those are deeper, and those are big fears for a lot of people. So yes, usually they're a little bit of bigger fears.
Yeah.
In your life, can you relate to a big fear that you faced?
Yeah, I was gonna share one of my big fears, uh, which is pretty much everything. I
You're not alone, Louis. You're not alone.
I no, I mean, every day is a fear fest. It's like, "Oh my god, where's my next gig gonna come from?" Or, "Oh my god, am I ready for this?" And I know I think you wrote about it. I know pretty much everybody's been writing about do it even if you're not ready. It's true. Um, for me, I mentioned selling my IT business. Yay. Um, because guess what? I'm going all in as a professional speaker,
Let's go.
right? Now who the heck is going to hire me? Well, I mean, the Idaho Library Association hired me as a closing keynoter, basically sight unseen because God gave me this big, beautiful mouth, and people assume I know how to use it. Um, and uh, speaking, I think, potentially is a really great fake it till you make it field to be in. If people see that you kind of sort of know what you talk about and you're entertaining, um, and you show up, showing up is a big deal.
Yep, just showing up. That
Just
yeah.
showing up, right? We're in the business of risk aversion. But I mean, it's interesting. I'm talking about courage, and yet the people who are most likely to hire me are in a position where they cannot afford to be courageous. They gotta their risk has to be minimal. Now, if we're going to be courageous individuals or companies, we want to we don't want to be foolhardy. We want to take calculated risks. Okay, so it's not that a calculated risk doesn't mean, hey, let's just not do anything different ever. No, it's like, oh, we saw what happened to Blockbuster. Uh, they didn't want to take risks. Kodak, they didn't want to take risks. What do we have to take risks for? We're top of our game. Yeah, till you're not.
Till you're not. And the innovators of this world, I hold them in such high regard because they're creating something new. They're stepping out of that cookie cutter, this is how we've always done it box. And there is risk involved with that, and the fear of failure involved with that. So in your own life, in this IT, you know, business where you've decided I'm not doing that and I'm going to focus on something else right now, how have you dealt with the fears that come along with that change?
Uh, First of all, I take it a day at a time. Some days are filled with dread, we'll say. Um, and you can't just look at every single thing you've got to do to be successful because you get overwhelmed. So you take it a step at a time. For me, it's been uh, doing the foundational work first, meaning building credibility. Like, why should I hire the courage inside? We're doing just fine. And who the hell is this guy? He hasn't even jumped out of an airplane.
Not yet, Louis,
I
not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Mm.
And but you got to build credibility. And
I love what you said though about just the one step at a time, because if we're trying to, what's that saying about eating the whole elephant or something? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Like,
exactly. Are you
yeah.
suggesting that we go out and eat elephants?
See, you're someone that I need to work on my improv and stand-up comedy skills with, and I know that's something that you incorporate into your keynotes and speeches, which is amazing. There's something about laughter that brings people's defenses down, and they wanna listen to you, and they wanna learn how to be more courageous, even just with that, with approaching it from a lighthearted and kind of like, "Hey, we're all in this together" stance. So,
Right.
I'm excited for what's to come for you. Now, I ask everybody this question, and I'm curious to see what your answer is. I actually can't remember what you said on our first interview.
Me neither.
Good, perfect.
Any of it. I don't remember any of it.
It's just gone. Um, okay, if you had to pick an exact opposite word from fear, so the opposite of fear is what word?
It's complacency, right? Our comfort zone. Right? It's not cowardice. I actually got called out on this by one of my speaking coaches. I have 2 speaking coaches at least. You know, one on the business side and one who is the actual speaking side, although they overlap. Um, and so David Avron, who's my speaking business coach, um, he asked me that question. What's the opposite of fear? And I said cowardice. He said no, right? It's living in your comfort zone. And but we hear that. See, this is the part that I think not just me, but a lot of people struggle with their innate value because they say, well, oh, everybody knows that. I mean, just
You
do
mean
so on LinkedIn and you'll get all kinds of great advice.
like struggling with with this notion that you have something to offer that maybe hasn't already been expressed some way before?
Exactly. Um, but we're here for a reason. Each of us, we each have a mission, even if it's to reinforce something that somebody previously said, because somebody's going to resonate with us in a way that maybe they don't resonate with uh, Jesus or uh, Richard Nixon, right?
I
And
love both of those examples together.
I'm not comparing the two. They just happen to be, people who were alive in the time that I've been here.
Um, oh, Louis. Oh, Louis. I was like, "Wait, my brain's couldn't catch up with that statement."
The people, when I do my stand up, the host usually talks about, um, how broken everybody feels afterwards. I break people, but
Welcome to
back together in a they maybe they don't come back together.
No, it's perfect. You keep us on our toes, like, "Wait a minute. What did he just say?"
Yeah.
Um, I love this concept, though, of getting out of our comfort zones and really going for life, because at the end of the day, when we're on our deathbeds and we're looking back on our life, I have heard that most of the time the regrets are from things we haven't done
Right.
that we really wanted to at that time, but we just felt trapped by fear. And so you bring up this point of stepping out of our comfort zones, which I think is so important before life passes us by.
No,
And
absolutely. Megan McCaleb, who's one of my coaches, talks about expanding our comfort zones. Um, I don't want to. I don't want to be the person who regrets not being on my deathbed. Um, right? We shouldn't. But we shouldn't be so focused on our deathbeds,
right.
right? We should live like. I mean, we don't want to be the person that says, "Oh, I'm not doing anything useful in my life and everything sucks and I'm not aligned with my mission and I kind of wish I was on my deathbed." We don't want to be that person.
Right. So living every day to the fullest in the best extent that we can in that moment, like doing the best that we can given, excuse me, our circumstances and what's going on in our life. And you may have already quasi answered this with your change of career, but in this next year that is coming up, since this is the One Fear Per Year podcast,
Right.
what is there a fear or something that you want to walk through in this upcoming year?
Well, you reminded me because I kind of I backburnered it. Um, and fear can also be stuff we really don't want to do. Like for me, jumping out of an airplane has never been on my bucket list. Am I afraid of it? Probably. Um, yes. I mean, probably yes. And it plays a big part in my keynote. And for my own credibility, I feel like, you know what? This is a year I gotta jump out of an airplane. Now, I also talk about the guy who sawed off his own arm. Um, I feel that I don't have to do that. That I would be definitely afraid of. I pretty much I game planned it. Um, and I decided that if I went out hiking in the Utah desert and got stuck between a rock and a hard place, I would stick with my arm. I would go down with my arm rather than uh saw it off with a rusty multi-tool. That no. You gotta draw the line. It's
But that's actually a great analogy because sometimes I feel like fears in our life can feel like that. It's like sawing off an arm. That's the feeling internally that we get. Like, this is so terrifying
yeah.
that it would be like losing a part of me. And to your point, that's right. We each have to make a decision in that moment. Am I going to stay here and die with my arm intact? Or am I going to walk through the fear and saw it off and kind of hope for the best that I could live a life after this? So it is a choice that we each have to make.
No, it's true, and the guy, his name's, Aaron Ralston, and I tease him. He doesn't know me from Adam, but we've had some back and forth on LinkedIn, um, and he he's a successful individual. He went on and he climbed, like, all the 14,000 plus, uh, peaks in Colorado, right? The 14,000 feet. He climbed those, like, right? One arm, he climbed them. And, he probably uh, I can't even imagine what he makes doing a keynote. It's not fair. But
Well,
why
what
isn't it
inspiration.
fair?
Well, and he made
Again.
the Lewis. He made the choice. That was the choice right there, the moment of truth, like the fear of cutting off his arm. And now look on the other side of that choice where he's at. I mean, it's pretty amazing and impressive. And my hope is that all of us can live our lives like that, just very committed to walking through fear and truly living our best, most fulfilling life. And unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you, Louis, for your insights, for your humor, for showing up in the world the way that you do. And I cannot wait to see you soar.